name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. You are governed by crisis. It doesn't matter if you're listening to me in the United States. You don't have a constitutional republic here any longer. It doesn't matter if you're listening to me in Germany with a 62-year-old constitution they refer to as the basic law. These are not the instruments that govern nations anymore. Now we are governed by the last crisis and the next crisis coming up. An example, I've been talking about this on the radio program and this channel for quite some time, but an example of it is today. Today we see the European debt crisis center stage once again. Now, last week the crisis was used to eliminate two heads of states and install two technocrats, a warm and fuzzy mainstream media name for banker puppets. We have Papademos inside of Greece, former European central banker, and we have Mario Monti inside of Italy, who happened to used to work for Goldman Sachs. He also happens to be the head of the Trilateral Commission of Europe, as well as a Bilderberger. So they have the right pedigrees to represent the banker interests. See, it isn't about fixing a crisis. In fact, it's exactly the opposite of that. If you fix the crisis, then no longer can you govern by crisis. Wolfgang Schäuble, finance minister of Germany, told Angela Merkel over almost a year ago that we should use this crisis to advance a European government. Now, that was the third rail of politics inside of Germany. No way would she talk about modifying their constitution. Yet today, in the midst of crisis, that's exactly what she's talking about. It isn't just happening in Germany. You can look right here in the United States. Crisis after crisis has led to a government that no longer functions by design, no longer is represented by 535 members of Congress, and is now whittled down to a super committee of 12 people. Crisis has led to where we're at right now. Crisis will lead to where we're going tomorrow. And that's a very simple trajectory if you follow the timeline, if you follow what has happened over the last several years. The goal is to keep making public the failure, the fraudulent failure of these too big to fail firms, and let them have the exact say on who governs the nations of the world until they can upwardly integrate the power into fewer and fewer hands. Wipe away the sovereign nations inside of Europe and create a European financial governance, which is a fancy way of saying a European government. Wipe away the representatives of the people of the United States, the 535-member body of Congress, and install a 13-body super committee. And it isn't about fixing the crisis. It's about making sure all the chess pieces are in place, so when it all comes apart, when the crisis reality really does set in, they will have the pieces in place and the legislation in place to give them the ultimate power to implement the ultimate austerity. The whole time wiping away the failure of these too big to fails that are financing this from the get-go. They're the ones creating the fraudulent failure debt being heaped onto the nations. They're the ones writing the laws, paying for the laws to be written that benefit them. And they are the ones who will come out at the end of the day smelling like a rose while the people of the world are asked to saddle their complete and utter fraudulent failure. Stories are attached. That's all I got.